Hello and welcome to this video where we are going to compare two AI text-based large language models, which are ChatGPT and Bard AI. In this video, we are going to discuss what each one of them is about. We are going to see the differences between the two. We're also going to see which one is more powerful than the other as we speak now in terms of the usage capability, the user experience that it provides you with, integration with other tools in its respective ecosystem. And then we are going to see which one has a more luminous future in terms of how it can be able to utilize the opportunities available in its ecosystem to achieve better success. But before we begin this video, if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing to our channel. Also like our videos, share them with your friends, and put your comments in the comment section below, and we'll be glad to respond to them. Let's start by introducing each one of them. So ChatGPT was developed by OpenAI, and OpenAI as a company was created by tech enthusiasts, AI researchers, and funded by billionaires such as Elon Musk, who felt that there is need to develop a competitor in the field of AI that would compete with Google. Google was dominating the AI industry, especially the Google Brain team was developing very powerful models such as AlexNet. And therefore, there was a feeling that if Google becomes a monopoly, then it is going to control the AI world. And that's how OpenAI was created. And it was given the name OpenAI because it was aimed at creating AI that is free for use. And it was a not for profit organization. But on the other hand, was developed by Google. Google is a company that we all know. Anytime you have a question, we always say, just Google it, and you are going to get the answer. So I don't need to introduce Google so much because you already know it and you're using much of its product. If you're not using an iPhone, you're definitely using an Android phone. Now, ChatGPT was the first one to be launched. It was launched on the 30th of November 2022. And then Bard AI followed later on the 21st of March 2023. The main aim of creating ChatGPT was to create an AI text-based model that would be openly available to the public to use. It was just for purposes of generating knowledge or for purposes of general public consumption. And this one continued for quite some time until a question had to be asked. Are we still pursuing this goal of creating an AI that is open for everybody to use? Are we going to remain to be a not for profit? And then what happened is that after OpenAI partnered with Microsoft, there was need to generate revenue. And some of the initial billionaires who are funding OpenAI's projects, such as Elon Musk, started withdrawing from the project after leadership struggles appeared. And therefore, there was an urgent need to generate revenue. And as we know, if a company is not being funded, it has to commercialize its product for it to generate revenue. And that is how the OpenAI's ChatGPT premium version was created. Although OpenAI has other products that were launched before ChatGPT that are not necessarily large language models, ChatGPT is the most popular one. And therefore, for purposes of contextualization, I'm going to focus more on the ChatGPT. So ChatGPT premium model was created with the sole aim of generating revenue, and that is why you have to pay a subscription fee for you to use it. Let us now go to Bard AI. So Bard was created with the sole aim of competing against ChatGPT. Actually, Google announced that it is going to develop a competitor for ChatGPT. It was very categorical, and that is how Bard was created. Now, when you consider ethical issues, Google has come to the limelight in so many ways. In matters to do with privacy, data privacy of its users. If you recall, there was a time almost all the tech companies in the United States were under scrutiny because of the British Analytica. And therefore, in all these two companies, we cannot fail to consider that privacy is still an issue. They have not yet guaranteed the privacy of its users. So what are some of the similarities that you're going to see in all these models? Both of them are large language models, which means that they are able to analyze the language that we speak, which is a natural language, and they are able to even understand more than one language, with English being the most basic or fundamental language in these models. Both of them use base technology, which is known as transformers. And transformers look like this. The key aspect of a transformer is that it has self-attention models that you can be able to see highlighted here. However, as we move on, Google is working towards developing its own. It is releasing something known as the Palm AI, and perhaps once it releases it, it is going to deviate from using the traditional transformer. However, GPT is so much embedded to the transformer. Both of them have a free to use version actually, but as of now, the experimental version is free for all. GPT, we have the free version and we have the premium version. Now, both of them are still being improved. GPT-4 was released just the other day. Google currently, even as used, but it is indicating for you that it is an experimental version, which means that they are still working on it. And I watched the Google I/O 2023, and they said very clearly that they are going to make Bard more powerful than one can ever imagine, and they are working towards integrating Bard with as many as of the products that are available in the Google ecosystem. Having said that, let us now go ahead and look at the various strengths that ChatGPT has. And one of the main strengths is that ChatGPT has a better looking interface compared to Bard. And for first time users, ChatGPT is going to give you a more relaxing and good user experience compared to Bard. Then we go to the next one, which is pioneering benefits. Basically, ChatGPT was the first large language model to be released for public use across the world, and therefore many people have adopted it. This is something that Facebook also benefited from. When it became the very first social media platform to be released across the world, it registered a very high adoption rate, and even up to now, it still has the largest market share in the social media industry. Now, the next thing is that ChatGPT has an ecosystem, though not a very strong ecosystem. Let us look at this ecosystem and see how it is helping ChatGPT to improve on its strength. I said ChatGPT partnered with Microsoft at some point, and therefore it has benefited from the Microsoft ecosystem. And one of the things that Microsoft has is what we call the Bing. Bing is a search engine that comes by default with the Edge browser, and you can also be able to access Bing if you're using Google Chrome. And if you go to Bing, you realize that they have introduced a new chat icon where you can be able to chat with Bing directly, and in the background is being powered by ChatGPT. And by having Bing in its ecosystem, ChatGPT is now able to do web crawling and scraping. And therefore, if you ask it some data that it was not really much aware of, it can be able to search for it. But not unless you are using the premium version, the free to use version does not provide real time data. But the premium version, at some point, it provides real time data. But the accuracy of data has been questioned so many times, which closely relates to the accuracy of the Bing search. Then we have the Microsoft Azure cloud computing platform, which is where Microsoft has housed ChatGPT, and that is why you are able to access it from any part of the world. So Microsoft has provided it with the infrastructure. Although in the initial phases, ChatGPT was powered by NVIDIA, the Microsoft Cloud is the one that is being used to deploy the ChatGPT. After that, we have Slack. Slack is a messaging app or a messaging platform that is mainly used by big business organizations, though its adoption across the world has not been so high, but we can see that it's a plus for ChatGPT to have it in its summary. So what are the weaknesses that ChatGPT has? One of the main weaknesses that ChatGPT has is ecosystem. It has a very limited ecosystem compared to its competitors, and you are going to see exactly that. So ChatGPT relies heavily on the Microsoft ecosystem, and Microsoft has not had a very good history when it is partnering with other emerging companies or other emerging tech companies. We have a story of Microsoft partnering with Nokia to release the Nokia Lumia, which was actually the only smartphone in the world that was using the Microsoft operating system. This was hyped so much, and Microsoft thought that it would make a breakthrough this one, but it's a closed operating system, limited developers from developing apps for Microsoft, and that is how Nokia ended up becoming a total failure, and it moved from being one of the best selling brands in those eras to being one of the worst performing today. And I believe by now, very few phones still use the Microsoft operating system. They actually even close that division. They only offer support for the ones that were existing before then. So that is a major weakness for ChatGPT. It may need to improve on its ecosystem if it wants to remain in the market. Now let's go to Bard AI, which was developed by Google. And by the virtue of the fact that it is associated to Google, it benefits from the Google ecosystem. The first thing that it benefits from is what we call the Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. What do we mean by this? You can be able to engage Bard in a conversation, and then you can be able to take the information that it has given you and export it to Google Docs for now. Without having to do copying and pasting like you do with ChatGPT, you can they have provided that provision of exporting to Google Docs. And once you export to Google Docs, you can be able to collaborate with other people, work on that particular document. In their IO, they said that Google Sheets and Google Slides will be coming soon, but that is something that is very powerful that ChatGPT does not have. We cannot talk about the three and fail to talk about Google Drive. Anytime you have documents available in your Google Docs or in Google Sheets or Google Slides, they automatically are saved in your Google Drive. And therefore, it is an ecosystem that Bard is benefiting from heavily. We can also talk about Colab, especially for software developers and programmers. If you search for code in Bard, you can be able to uh, run that particular code in Colab by exporting it to Colab. Though that provision for now has not been activated yet, but in their IO, they say that that is something they are working on, and they give just a few months to release it. And that is going to beat ChatGPT hands down. Then we have Google Cloud. Just like Microsoft Azure, it is a cloud-based platform where a Bard is stored and where Bard is deployed, and that is what makes us to be able to access it. So we can say in terms of cloud, both of them are at par. We have what we call Google Maps. In their IO, Google indicated that now once you search some information in Bard and you get some response from Bard, you can be able now to click a link and go to Google Maps, and you are able to access the maps and even use them to search for location. Let us take an example. I search in Bard today top hotels near my location. So what it's going to do is that Bard will link with Google Maps, first and foremost access my location. After doing that, it will search for those hotels. Then it will link me to Google Maps, and I'll be able to easily see where they are located. That's a very powerful one. ChatGPT is yet to come to that. Then we have the Google search engine. Google search engine is the most powerful one. It is the de facto search engine that many people use today, and therefore it has played a very critical role in providing Bard with access to real-time information on the internet. Unlike ChatGPT, Bard provides you with real-time information. What this means is that I can be able to search for information such as tech news or trending tech news today, and Bard will give me what is trading right away because it will get it from the internet. And make matters even much better, Bard has provided you with an opportunity to verify if the content that it has given you is actually correct. And you are going to see that in a short while, and I'll be demonstrating to you how Bard works. So this is a very powerful tool that currently ChatGPT does not support. Then, of course, we have the Google Brain team, which is basically a research team, an AI research team that has been held so much in the world because of the kind of technologies that they have released. And they are the ones that developed AlexNet and several other powerful AI models. And if you Google any of the researchers from Google Brain and see the kind of papers that they produce, they are heavily cited papers, and therefore we cannot ignore having such a human resource asset in Google. OpenAI is yet to start giving us other powerful projects that they are working on apart from ChatGPT. But I also reckon that they have a research lab, an OpenAI research lab. But in terms of comparison to the Google Brain Research Lab, they cannot compare. Then we have Gmail, of course. For you to be able to access Bard, you need to have a Gmail account. And Gmail comes on with so many things. You are going to see in our demonstration today, you can be able to search for information in Bard, and then you can be able to actually export that content to Gmail, and the Bard will automatically type an email for you, and then you can be able to share that content your friend. Let's say, for example, I wanted to email my friend top tech news today. However, I do not want to go through the process of going to ChatGPT, searching for top tech news, and then it will tell me that the knowledge is up to 2021, copying that and then pasting it on my email draft and so on. I can just go to Bard, search top tech news today, and then I export it to email, and I'll be able to set that. And there is still more integration that can come up, Bard can come up with that can integrate with all these other tools in the ecosystem. So, what are the possible opportunities for Bard in terms of Google's ecosystem? Because it has a very powerful ecosystem. We cannot fail to ignore that Google also has Android in its summary. And Android has been used in so many of the devices that we know today. Let us think of the smartphones, smart wearable devices, smart televisions, and even other IoT devices. If Google integrates Bard with Android, then it is going to become the de facto AI, a large language model that everybody is using. And before I forget, it's good for us to know that Bard is also supporting voice search. Unlike ChatGPT, Bard is supporting voice search. Other areas that it can integrate with still Gmail, now, rather than me having to go to Bard for me to search for content and then I export to Gmail, they can just integrate Gmail in such a way that I can go to Gmail directly and give it some prompt, write an email to my friend informing them about the top tech news today. So that's an opportunity that Google has, and I believe it's something that they are working on. We have Chrome. Chrome is one of the powerful browsers that we have today, still by Google. And since Google search engine is the most powerful one, and Chrome in many cases is the de facto browser for several people, or for many people rather, then if Bard was to integrate properly with Chrome, then you'd find that when you Google some information using your Google Chrome, it will give you a summary that has been provided by Bard, and then thereafter you can go to the specific website if you desire. So let's now go ahead and see how Bard works. So to use Bard, you just need to open your browser, and then you need to have a Gmail account, of course. Open your browser, and then you can type Bard AI, and then you'll be brought to this particular interface. You can click on Meet Bard. If you're using it for the first time, it's going to ask you, do you want to try Bard? And then you'll accept the terms of service and also the privacy statement and so on. After that, now you have the Bard interface. This Bard interface, as you can see, it is telling us it's still experiment because, like I said, it is still under development. Having said so, now over here, this is where you put the text that you want to search, just like we have with the ChatGPT. And in this case, I would like to search some information. Let me maybe search uh, best hotels in the UK. Best hotels in the UK. So what it will do is that it now crawl through the information that it has and try and generate a list of the best hotels that it has in the UK, and something that perhaps you have never seen before with ChatGPT, and that makes me believe that Bard is much better, is that Bard is offering you visualization capabilities. For instance, it has given us this hotel known as the Leeds Hotel in London. It is even giving you an image of that particular hotel and even a source where it has obtained that particular image. And if you scroll down, you can be able to see the various hotels that are available together with their images, and you can even follow the link that is available there and see what these hotels have to offer. Having said that, you can even come down here and go to this section which is known as Google it. Google it, and once you Google it, it will give you these links, and these links are basically the references for where it has obtained the content that it has given you. So if you follow them, it will guide you to these particular URLs, and you're able to actually counter check if what Bard has given you is correct or not. So this is powerful because you can be able to have more confidence with Bard than you could have with OpenAI's GPT-4. After that, we can be able to also customize this and say you would like it maybe in form of a table. Say I would like the list in form of table. I would like the list inform of a table together with the prices per night. So let's wait for it to generate that particular list in form of a table. And you can see it has done that for us. So in this case, we have this column containing the hotel, the location, and price per night. Now, if you want to continue enjoying this further, you can come here where we have these icons. We have what we call export response. You can click on export response and export to Google Docs. Like I said, you can export to the Google ecosystem. So once you click on it, it will create the Google Docs for you. Then you can click here, open docs. And once you open docs, what you get is that list. You can be able to see it and the conversation that you have had with it. So this saves you a lot of time. You don't have to go and do copy pasting like you would do with ChatGPT. And also you can see that the display in form of a table is much better compared to ChatGPT. So let us now assume that you're actually searching for this information and you wanted to share it with your friend. Or maybe we can reset this chat. Let us reset the chat here and say you and your friend are working on a project and you want to maybe have a base or you want to have a basic definition of a certain term. And let's say you are working on on an AI project and you want to understand what are neural networks. So you can ask Bart what are neural networks? What are artificial neural networks? Never mind the spelling mistake. Bard AI has the capability to correct that spelling mistake for you. You can see that it gives you a very clear definition of neural networks. Let's say now you want to share this information with your friend. You can just come here and then draft in Gmail. Draft in Gmail. It will create a draft email for you. Then you can click open Gmail. You'll be able to. It will open your email account, and then it will provide you with an option now here to put the recipient. You can put your recipient there. You can see the information that it has typed for you. This will save you a lot of time. And I believe that this is something that ChatGPT, as of now, cannot outsmart Google with it. Now, having said that, we can already so far see that Bard is more powerful than ChatGPT. But what does the future look like for both of them? Let us still talk about ecosystem. When we talk about the Google ecosystem, we cannot ignore Android. And Android has its own sub ecosystem, which is mainly used for smartphones, smartwatches, and even smart televisions nowadays. So if Google was to take Bard, the Android ecosystem, it will become so useful and will have a wide adoption, and that will beat ChatGPT hands down. Therefore, we can say that as things are as of now, Google Bard is more powerful than ChatGPT. It has a more luminous future than the ChatGPT, and therefore, many people are likely to shift from ChatGPT and move to Google Bard. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider subscribing to our channel, like our videos, share them with your friends, and also if you have any comments, put your comments in the comment section below. We'll be glad to respond to them. Thank you so much.